jackets and drinking coffee and laughing and smiling and shit. I want their fucking faces to go straight up fucking numb. So we're going to do this. We're going to start boat pressing this motherfucker. Just take my lead. Trust me. You'll get energy from it. We start throwing this boat up in the fucking air, catching it, throwing it up and catching it. And we start yelling, can't hurt fucking boat crew too. We're yelling our fucking ass off and we're doing it. And they make us stop. Like what the fuck? Like, stop. I look at these instructors and their faces literally look like someone just took their soul out. 'Cause I know where their minds were. Like, they were thinking about themselves. Like, what the fuck just happened, man? I know me on Wednesday, I couldn't have done that. How are they doing it? So the rest of the time, going through Hell Week, it was like we owned it. We owned it.
Right.
Boat Crew 2, we won every single race. We were just dominating. And it was a strong boat crew. And that's where Taking Souls is, there's a few Taking Souls stories, but that's one of them.
Yeah, and part of that is learning how to be a leader. Like when you're dealing with these alpha males and these huge egos, there's this tendency to just try to outshine the next guy, right? You tell an example, there's another guy who kind of proceeds along that path.
Right.
And he realizes very quickly that he's not going to make it because he doesn't know how to build camaraderie with the other guys.
Right. Talk about Mr. Dobbs. He's a good friend of mine still to this day. And he went into that place, man, and I knew where he was going. It's in my third Hell Week. And I knew Sean real well, but I knew he was real arrogant. He had a serious chip on his shoulder like I do. I still do. I got to control it every now and then, and it got me in a lot of trouble sometimes. But I knew he had it. I knew that chip on your shoulder not being controlled, it will get you fucked up, and it cost him a lot going through buds. And I saw the look. Because I once had the look when I was going through pararescue school. When something got so hard and your mind can't process the hardness, you don't know the right tools to get through something hard because you've never been challenged before. I could tell he was a superhuman, that nothing ever challenged him. But I knew, because I already been through Hell Week a couple times, I knew, motherfucker, don't underestimate that shit. It will find a fucking demon and it will bring out some insecurities in you, and it did. And it was like maybe 30 hours in the Hell Week or something like that. I'm looking over at him, and I smile at him. We're standing just like this in line, and he's getting his med check. A doctor's looking at him. It happened just to be beautiful timing. And I'm sitting there. I'm getting med checked, and I'm looking at him, and his eyes says he's 1,000 yards still looking right through me. And he's getting med checked, and I'm looking at him. And before all this happened, I told him, I said, don't underestimate this motherfucker, man. He goes, I can't ever see myself quitting shit, Goggins. I go, watch out. I go, this motherfucker will get in your head. I go, the end is a long way away. So we're sitting there eye to eye, and he didn't see me. I'm right in front of him. And I can tell he's thinking he has that quitting mind starting up. And I look at him, I go, I told you, motherfucker. I told you, motherfucker. And next thing I knew, man, a car pulls up, and he rolled out.
Rings the bell.
He rings the bell and he quits. But it was he's a great human being, hard motherfucker. It doesn't make you, when you quit something like that, man, it's a huge lesson learned that I can't go into anything thinking that there's nothing that's not going to get in my way. You got to be prepared for all those obstacles.
Right. Well, on this theme of the reader being the hero here, like what is the takeaway on the stealing souls thing? Because that's one of the challenges.
Well, there's tons of takeaways with that one, man. It's about finding energy and strength when you have none. Like a lot of times in life, like that situation right there, man, it's the worst time of your life. There's energy all around us, but we think that we have to have it. It has to come externally a lot of times. We gotta have like a TV in front of us, watch somebody, listen to a podcast, listen to a great music. A lot of times in life it's fucking quiet. And those are the times when you want to run and hide. You gotta be able to find energy. You gotta make up games, make up tricks, make up whatever you can to get to the next evolution of life. So taking souls is just another way. It's not about hurting the person you're against. It's about finding a tactical advantage in every situation you fucking physically can to get to the next. You're trying to inch further to the goal line. And you don't want to.
And what is that goal line?
The goal line is whatever it is for you. For me, I want to get through Hell Week. I want to get through Hell Week with my head up high, being strong. I don't know what the goal line is for everybody. My goal line has been very different for most people. But you're trying to find energy and strength to stay in the fight, to continue on until you get that second wind. The second wind is coming, whenever the second wind may be for you. It's coming. But what happens is we get so stressed out that the end is so far away that we just can't find another foothold or another handhold, so we jump off the cliff and we just fall. There's another one. You got to find it. So taking soul is one way to do it.
Well, as you progress through this journey that you're on, and you're winning these victories along the way, this idea kind of comes upon you, which is this drive to be uncommon amongst the uncommon, right? You mentioned a few moments earlier that you started distancing yourself even from the SEALs themselves. Like, okay, I've done this. I've distinguished myself amongst these guys. Like, now what's the next challenge? How can I push myself harder? Like, who, what are the other circumstances I can put myself in to be the hardest motherfucker on planet Earth, which was kind of the driving impulse underneath all of this, right?
Right.
So elaborate on that a little bit.
So for me, that's why I wanted to become a Navy SEAL. I wanted people to push me outside of my comfort zone every day. And I thought this was going to be the absolute best platform to do that. These guys, the stories I heard after BUDS, it just gets harder. And I didn't see it that way.
Because BUDS is just to become the SEAL.
That's right. I'm like, my God, I can't even imagine what the fuck's going to happen. But what happens to a lot of people, not everybody, can't speak for everybody, I don't know everybody. BUDS breaks people down to the point where you don't want to be broken down again like that. To me, that was exactly the exact starting point for my journey in life. That was the starting point for me. For a lot of people, it's the finish line. And I didn't see it that way for me. So that's where I started becoming uncommon amongst uncommon people, is where I started realizing that you put people on a pedestal that you shouldn't. That you got to get in there yourself and examine people. See what's really about yourself. So once I got in there and realized, hey, these are just normal people. Yeah, they're a lot better than some. They're able to get through. I know a lot of people who can get through Navy SEAL training. But, there's a lot of mystique behind all that stuff. And as you start to go through and you start to break it open a little bit, a lot of hard guys, but, I wanted more. I wanted more.
And this is your strength. In certain respects, it's a superpower that you have, but it's also your Achilles heel.
Big time. Big time. I talk about it in the book a lot too. One thing that hurt me a lot was I thought everybody wanted the same thing I wanted. Not everybody wants the same thing you fucking want. Everybody wants to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and beat themselves and find more about themselves and shit like that. And I thought the SEALs did. Most people don't.
Yeah.
And I thought the SEALs did. I thought that's what, because every book you read, that's what everybody does. So I was hook, line, and sinker. So that mentality that I had, it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth, once I realized that not everybody was like this in the community. And I was like, you know what, man? So then I started having chips on my shoulder. I had my own little thing I was doing with a couple guys, working out on my own, do my own little thing. And when you start doing that stuff and you start to drive yourself away from people, and I was already different as it was, even if I didn't do that, I already came in being very different. Like I tell people, I was a part of the Navy SEAL teams. I wasn't part of the Brotherhood.
Right.
And
You're not going out and partying.
I'm not going out. No, that's not me. That's never been me, though. Like, if I was in a college, if I was in I couldn't be part of a fraternity, man. I would never join a fraternity. Ever. I'd be like, hey, fuck you all, man. I got my own shit going on over here, man. Go fuck yourself. That's me. I don't like fraternities.